Hey, welcome back, family, to another episode of Tech Innovation Made Human. So glad that you could join us all. Brought to you by the Tech Simplified Network. I'm your host, Jeremy McKellar, and today I'm going to show you how to get dramatically better results from any AI tool you're already using. Do me a favor before we get started. Make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe, you share it with a friend, you share it with a family member. This is going to be a very, very important episode to start off our journey with some new learning concepts that we'll be sharing with you all to kind of set the foundation for future episodes that will dive into more advanced topics. But this one's going to be very, very important. Make sure that you tune in. Whether you're using ChatGPT, Claude, or Microsoft Copilot, or Grok, or Google's Gemini, or any other AI assistant out there, the quality of output is directly tied to the quality of your prompts, okay? And your prompts is your input. So what you actually input to these systems, remember, this is a collaborative effort. You're not just giving AI the tools and the keys and handing it over, and it's just going to make magic happen. Most people are leaving 90% of AI's potential on the table by using basic prompts. I know a lot of times we just want it to work, and everything that's very quick isn't always the best. You need to actually work with it to get wonderful results. Okay, so today we're going to demonstrate 5 prompt engineering patterns that will transform your results in just 10 minutes. Okay, so let's start with a quick example of a basic prompt, and I'm going to share out my screen and we'll dive into the demo. All right, so here I'm simply typing, give me marketing ideas for my productivity app. All right, just a simple, give me marketing ideas for my productivity app. I am using, for those that are listening, I'm using ChatGPT, and the model that we're leveraging is 4.0. Okay, so we'll start off with just a simple prompt, like we mentioned. Give me marketing ideas for my productivity app. All right. I'm using ChatGPT's temporary chat. Okay. And you'll see here, it actually gives us some ideas that we can begin to leverage. And you can see, though, it's more generic, right? So that brings me to a wonderful approach that you can use in prompting. This is called the context setting framework. Okay. So as opposed to just simply typing a very generic response, we're now going to give it detailed information. So this will transform your results. Most people jump straight to their request without setting the stage. So here's how it works. Instead, I'm going to say you are an expert marketing strategist with 20 years of experience working with tech startups. I need marketing ideas for my new productivity app that helps people organize their tasks and schedule. So approach this by first considering the target audience, busy professionals ages 25 to 45, and then the unique value proposition of my app. So for us, it saves 5+ hours weekly through smart automation. And finally, the most effective channels to reach this audience. Okay. For each idea, explain why it would be effective and provide a brief implementation plan. We are identifying the who, right? The expert that is involved in this. And then we're also identifying the what. What is the specific expertise? And then how. So how it should approach the problem. You see the difference already. We now have strategic recommendations that are tailored to our specific situation with explanations and implementation steps all from the same AI, just with a better prompt. Okay, so we didn't change anything else. We're still on ChatGPT. This pattern works because it gives the AI a clear framework to operate within rather than leaving it to guess what you want. All right, next up, we're moving on to our second pattern. I love this one. This is called the expertise pattern. What this involves is explicitly asking the AI to adopt specific expertise or methodologies. So I'm going to show you the difference. This time we're going to use a business problem. Analyze this business situation. My small e-commerce store is facing increased competition from larger retailers with bigger marketing budgets. What should I do? And it mentions here, you're in a common but challenging position, a small e-commerce store competing with larger, well-funded retailers. Here's a breakdown to help you compete effectively despite their marketing muscle. This response gives us some pretty sound advice, but nothing particularly insightful. So watch what happens when I use the expertise pattern. We're going to analyze this business situation using the frameworks taught at Harvard Business School, specifically Porter's 5 forces and SWOT analysis. After applying these frameworks, provide recommendations as if you were a McKinsey consultant, which is a consulting firm, presenting to a CEO. So what do you see the big difference here is? We're giving detailed information on specifics on the AI's expertise that they need to pull from, as well as what we want our end goal to be. Okay, so let's click. Good. So it's providing consultant grade actionable recommendations. So Porter's 5 forces analysis, you can look that up to learn more about that approach, but threat of new entrants, so moderate to high. Barriers to entry are relatively low in e-commerce. Shopify makes launching a store easy. However, your brand sustainability, positioning, and loyal customer base provide some insulation. So you see here, you get a lot more information based upon experts. So through the lens of experts that may focus on this more consultative approach. These are really great approaches that you can take. And then it also gives you a summary strategy roadmap. So it's how the output has a structured methodology and higher level thinking. By specifying expertise and frameworks, you're accessing more sophisticated reasoning patterns within the AI. All right. Our third pattern is the step-by-step method. So most people, they ask for the end result, but you'll get far better outputs by guiding the AI through a reasoning process. Shout out to everybody out there that are investors, that invest in different stocks and companies and crypto. You can leverage AI to analyze different companies that you're interested in. So we're just going to use as an example. I do like Lululemon clothes. They're pretty cool. This is not sponsored at all, but we're going to ask a simple question. Should I invest in Lululemon stock right now? And you'll see there, it's a simple question. It's going to go through. It actually gives you some really insightful information. Let's try the step-by-step approach for this example, okay? So this is what I'm going to enter. I need to decide whether to invest in Lululemon, the premium athletic apparel company. Help me think through this decision using a step-by-step approach. So first, analyze their business model and revenue growth over the past 3 years. After working through each step systematically, provide your final recommendation with a clear rationale for whether Lululemon would be a wonderful investment in 2025. Also, this is not investment advice for those out here. This is simply a demo, okay? But we'll see what we get back after working through each step. Look, so it's giving us over the past 3 years, business model and revenue growth. 2022 is 6 billion, 2025, 10 billion. So you have seen some growth. It has decelerated. Market position in premium activewear in the US. So you see the difference. This pattern works because it forces the AI to break down complex problems and think through each component separately before reaching a conclusion, just like an expert would. And this is just one thing. This is for analyzing stocks. You could use this for analyzing a specific technology at work or analyzing a client, and you want to actually give step-by-step instructions on how the AI should approach the analysis. So yeah, this is just a few things that you can use, and we'll move on over to the next one. All right, our next pattern that we're going to introduce to you is the evaluation pattern. This is where you ask the AI to critique and improve its own responses. So let me show you how this works. First, what we're going to do is ask AI to write something. So I'm going to say, write a short email to a potential client explaining why they should hire our web design agency. Hi, hope you're doing well. I wanted to reach out. What sets us apart is our focus on user experience, responsive design. It's okay, but nothing really special. So now we're going to follow up with evaluating our response. Okay, so we're going to follow up. We're going to say, please evaluate your response above. Identify any weaknesses, assumptions, or areas that could be improved. All right, so it's going to give you an evaluation. Here's our strengths. So here's an enhanced version. If your website isn't actively converting visitors into customers, so it touches on a pain point, you're likely leaving revenue on the table. Hey, why does it actually matter? So by asking the AI to critique itself, you're accessing a more sophisticated level of reasoning. This is like a symphony, and you're the maestro making all of this work together, providing it with structure, providing it with context, providing it with steps, giving it ideas of how it can evaluate its responses, and then improving upon that. This next pattern is called the specification pattern. It's the final one for today. This is where you clearly define the exact parameters you want for the output. So let me show you with a content request. So here is a basic one. Create a content calendar for social media, right? Just here we go, off the cuff. No other information provided. So here's a basic monthly content calendar. You see here it's giving you Motivation Monday, Tip Tuesday. So next up, we will give it a detailed spec on what we're looking for. So we're going to say, create a content calendar for social media with the following specifications. Format, a table. So we're giving it the format. We're going to give it the time frame. Okay. So really detailed specs on what we're trying to get out of this. So you are dictating how the responses should be returned to you. All right. So let's check out the results. So here we go. 2-week AI content calendar. All right. So you'll see here, Instagram, inspirational. Success story, a bakery using AI to personalize marketing. Then also it gives you an explanation, as it mentions, around the content mix. So 40% educational, which we asked for, 30% inspirational, 30% promotional as well. So for the specification pattern, this is very specific on what you want your response to be. So now this result is exactly what we need, professionally structured. It's ready to implement. And it saves us hours of planning work. All right, so there you have it. 5 prompt engineering patterns that will transform your AI results in minutes. When you combine these patterns, like I mentioned, you could start to combine it now today. You'll get responses that are more accurate, nuanced, and useful than what most people are getting with basic prompts. So your challenge for today, take your most recent AI prompt and apply at least 2 of these patterns. You can take these different patterns that we've given you, from the expertise pattern, from the step-by-step pattern, from the evaluation pattern, you name it, whatever we've talked about today, you can implement these into your own workflow. Share your before and after results in the comments below. Let me know what you've gotten. I bet you'll be amazed at the difference. And if you found this valuable, do me a big favor. Hit subscribe and the notification bell to stay updated on more practical AI techniques. Next week, I'll show you advanced prompt engineering techniques that build on what we covered today. So hopefully you took notes today. And if you did, I thank you immensely. Hopefully you can implement this into your own workflow. Now the onus is on you to take what's in your mind and to come up with your own ideas of how you want to prompt these systems. We've given you the framework. Let your wings fly and test it out. This is Jeremy McKellar from Tech Innovation Made Human, brought to you by the Tech Simplified Network. We're making AI practical for real world impact. I hope to see you next time. Make sure that you hit that subscribe, the like button, tell a friend as well. We got more content on the way. Peace.